doing free readings today, so if you would like me to pull a card for you, I'm going to be using my Lilith deck. Okay, definitely one of my favorite decks. I'll be using that today to pull cards. So if you have like a specific question, or if you just kind of want to know like what's going on in life right now, because we do have a lot going on, right, astrologically. So, we're in the middle of this retrograde soup. And then not only that, but, we also have this full moon energy as well. So there's a lot of things going on astrologically. So I thought that it would be a really good time. Hey, Kat! Yay, I'm glad that you're here. Awesome. Awesome. Good to see you. Yeah, so you already know about the retrograde soup. You already know what's going on. Yeah, it's kind of been a lot. It's definitely been a lot. So I figure we could pull some cards and just kind of get some direction. Like I said, I am going to be using the Lilith deck. Okay, so this is actually one of my favorite decks. And it is an oracle deck, so I will probably, pull the card, go over the meaning, and then if we need to dive into the guidebook at all, then we'll do that as well. I really like this guidebook, and honestly, this whole deck, because it talks about, for each card, it describes the card, and then it also has some shadow work here that we could be doing for ourselves too. So I really like the little shadow work thing here as the keywords, and then it of course describes the affiliation between what's on the card and the goddess Lilith. So I really like all of that going on with that. So, and as far as I know, this deck is still available. Queerdivine.co.uk. Okay, amazing creators. I love the people that created these beautiful cards. So anyway, so yeah, so if anybody would like to have a card, just let me know. I will add you to the list. I will probably only do a few people today just because I am kind of tired, And honestly, since it's just a couple of us here right now, I would love to kind of discuss maybe what I want to start doing with these free readings instead of just doing it monthly. It feels stale. Okay. It feels stale. It feels stagnant. It feels like nothing is really, not saying that I don't enjoy it, because I do. I enjoy connecting with y'all. I enjoy sharing with y'all. And I love having this opportunity for y'all to get free readings. But I think that the way that we have it right now, it's just not functioning like it should. Okay. So kind of spitballing some ideas here. Okay. I thought about doing it once a quarter or doing it once a major Sabbath. Okay. So that would be like, Samhain, that would be Beltane, things like that. Okay. Really like going through the calendar of the year and then doing it that way instead. Yeah, so if you have an opinion on that, I would love to hear it, okay? I would love to hear it. Again, I just feel like it's kind of stuck, kind of stagnant. And I looked over at the clock. Oh, okay, that way. I guess everything's reversed on my end. I'm trying to point to the clock I point at it there, but for me, it's over here. So whatever. Anyway, hi, Marilyn. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, so I thought about changing that. The clock said 444, so might be a pretty good idea. So maybe an astro overview. Yeah. See, I think that would be really good too. Like really talking about like the astrology of what's going on, get people in, talk about the astrology of what's going on at that particular time, and then move into pulling some cards, make it almost not necessarily like a class, like a traditional class kind of experience, but have a time where I'm talking about things, because I feel like we're already like 5 minutes in, so to speak, from the time. And I feel like if I was talking about things, we would have some things beforehand that everybody would be able to, like kind of tap into, discuss in the comments, things like that. And then we could move into card pulls. So I don't know. I like that too. I'm going to write down the astrology thing too. Okay. We're going to say Sabbath readings, ? Astro overview ? Because I really like that idea too, really moving into that. And I think that would be really helpful, especially like, for example, right now with so much going on, we could talk about that too real quick. Okay. So if you do want a reading, you can let me know in the comments. I'm just going to discuss a few things that are happening right now astrologically. I might even pull up the chart on my phone just so that way we can be kind of looking at that. But right now, if you've been following me for any amount of time, then we are in the middle of retrograde soup right now. Okay. That's what I'm calling it. Okay. Because it's just been a lot. So we've got Saturn retrograde, we got Neptune retrograde. Uranus is not retrograde yet, but will be turning retrograde on September 1st. Pluto is retrograde. Saturn, I already said. Jupiter's fine for now. Mars just moved into Libra. Okay, so if you're having a lot, and I think it kind of goes with the comment, right? Like, yeah, retrograde hell. Okay. If you're having a lot going on, all right, that is really what's happening, especially with this Mars moving into Libra. Mars is not comfortable in Libra at all. Okay. I think about two opposing energies with that. All right. So a lot of questions around like, what am I supposed to be doing? What should I be doing? What should I not be doing? Things like that, where's all this aggression coming from? Things like that. Mercury is still retrograde. It's going to be turning direct on the 11th, but we'll have the shadow period after that. So I'm thinking probably around the new moon I want to say it's the 23rd of August. Numbers are a little weird in my head right now. So Kat, I'll add you to the list. You will be the first one. Okay. Lost my train of thought for a minute. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, the shadow period. So around the new moon of August, we're going to have this beautiful opportunity to really take what we have learned. And I feel like we kind of got that with this last new moon, not the full moon that just happened. Okay, Marilyn, I'll put you on the list too. Not with the full moon that, we're currently moving through, but like with the new moon, we almost had this opportunity to go, oh my God, this shit is not fucking working. What the fuck can I be doing? What can I be doing? What do I need to set my intentions for? Things like that. I feel like this new moon this month, okay, at towards the end of the month, I believe it's on the 23rd of this month, it's going to be happening in the sign of Virgo, which in September, we're going to have a eclipse in Virgo. Okay, that one's going to be the new moon solar eclipse happening in Virgo, also towards the end of September. It's actually going to be around Mabon. So that's going to be fun, right? We're going to have all this eclipse energy. So this new moon, this coming new moon at the end of this month is going to be a great time for us to really take a look at all the things that have been coming up, especially around Mercury retrograde, the lessons learned there, and then set new intentions because of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, Libra is balanced. Yeah, exactly. And how the fuck do you navigate that, right? Like that's so much. It's so big. It's like big energy. And it's like, yeah, like wanting to balance, but like having so much passion that it's easy to get out of balance, right? Like it's going to be interesting to see how we all try to like merge those energies together, I think. So let's go ahead and dive into our readings, okay? That way we're not really getting like super off, but just so that y'all know, like that's what's happening right now, And then we have this energy of this full moon. Okay, we're going to go into the full moon, then the free readings. This full moon right now, happening in the side of Aquarius, really asking us to innovate. Even though this is a full moon focused on releasing and letting go and things like that, it also feels very much connected to seeing the bounty, right? And I think this is the Lunasa energy and just the time of year, right? Like seeing the bounty, the rewards, the gratitude that we can have, and then really asking ourselves, what gets in the way of us being able to acknowledge that? What gets in the way of us being able to tap into that bounty? Because I feel like everybody that I've talked to, we've all had like these really big, heavy things going on, but we also have so much coming into our lives. Okay. I'm not trying to say like, oh, you got to be grateful for everything. You don't get to feel sad about the things that haven't come to fruition or whatever. No, I'm saying that it's really important for us to find space for both, right? Like really embracing this duality. All right. Another friend / client, we get on each other. We're like, fucking duality, because it's a big lesson. It's a big beast. So, okay, now we're going to get into the free readings after I sneeze. Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry if that was loud for you guys. And it's 11:11. It's the perfect time to dive into these readings. Oh my God. Okay. So Kat, we are going to start with you. If anybody else has popped in and would like to request a reading, just let me know. Just say that you want a reading in the comments. I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. I don't want to sneeze in you guys' ears. Okay, maybe not. All right, so sorry. Okay, Kat, be thinking about any specific question that you have. If you don't have a specific question, no worries. The universe will always show you what it is you need to see. I know that you said that things are kind of a lot right now, so we're going to go with 2 cards. Initially, I was thinking 1 card, but really, I think 2 cards are really going to be good for like an overall kind of vibe thing going on. So, yes, exactly. Happy full moon and happy Lionsgate. Yeah, and then we have the Lionsgate. I know there's a lot of stuff online right now saying like, oh yeah, who cares about that, and really talking shit about that. But like for those who do celebrate, happy Lionsgate, right? I'm not here to tell anybody how to how to do their practice, how to live their life, right? Like live your life, do the things that you want to do, whatevs. It's so funny being online and people are just so fucking catty, right? Like what the fuck? I thought those were gonna flip. Did you see that? They said, nope, just kidding. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle one more time. All right, let's go ahead and pull for you, Kat. All right. Ooh, I love this for you. Okay, so, oh, your anniversary was 8/8. That's badass. Happy belated anniversary. Oh, that's so perfect. Aw, that's so perfect. I love that. Yeah, I have a friend, actually, a local friend. Her birthday was yesterday too. I had no idea. I was like, oh my gosh, happy birthday, friend. So, okay, Kat. So your two cards that I have for you here are red lily and pomegranate. Okay. So with red lily is all about sexuality. I'll read what's on the card, then I'll hold it up for you so that you can see it as well. Red lily sexuality. I am magnetic and seductive. My energy radiates and I easily draw in what I desire. Okay, and then the second card is pomegranate, and it's all about abundance. My thoughts are fertile ground where seeds of abundance bloom into a thriving life of success. Let me make sure that we got a good. There we go. Okay, I got to go backwards because everything's backwards on here. So, really a lot going on, and I feel like these two are so interconnected to prosperity and really being fertile, having the fertile ground upon which to build that abundance, to rekindle or reignite any kind of lost, it almost feels like lost intimacy or lost connection in some way. So like being able to start over, and that doesn't mean like intimacy, like sexual intimacy. I know it said sexuality on here, okay, so that's definitely a big piece of it, right? But I feel like it's also very much this connection of intimacy, being able to be intimate and know, like we think of intimacy as sex, but it can also very much be like this deep connection, right? Like this deep connection, this deep knowing of one another or multiple people or whomever, right? Like I consider my closest friends, we have a very intimate relationship. You know what I mean? We don't add sex into the equation, but we are intimate in that way, right? So I get this sense of like this deep intimacy coming up for you. And I do want to go in and just kind of take a peek in the guidebook and see. Internal deep connection. Yes, yes, I love that. I love that. I think that's so important. I really do, because I feel like when we know ourselves, when we understand ourselves, then we are better able to meet others, right? Because we know ourselves, we know our needs, we know our wants, at least like in that moment, right? I feel like it's an evolving journey to know ourselves, right? But in that moment, like we know what we want, we know where we're going, we know who we are. So, yeah, having that intimacy is so huge, so huge. Okay, so the pomegranate symbolizes prosperity, fertility, and immortality. Some interpretations say that the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden was a pomegranate, not an apple. In rituals to Lilith, the fruit is a great offering as it resonates with sensuality, mystery, and feminine power. The pomegranate's unique appearance symbolizes fertility and abundance as it holds countless seeds. Like the pomegranate, the universe is generous and abundant for everyone. This card says that your thoughts shape your reality. Planting positive ideas creates fertile ground to grow and reap success in all areas of your life. Oh, that's so in alignment with what we were just talking about. So the shadow work, okay? The shadow work with this. Reflect on how you feel about having an abundant life. Ooh. I'm already getting like, ooh, yeah. Do you feel guilty about having more than others or that you don't deserve what you have? When did you feel like life didn't give you what you deserved? Do you recognize what you have achieved? Lilith shows you that you must value all you have in order to have an abundant life. Gratitude and positive thoughts are the keys to abundance. Okay. So I love that. I so love that, and we are going to go ahead and dive into the red lily because we might as well, right? Okay. So, with its lush petals and intense fragrance, the red lily attracts people and pollinators, symbolizing sensuality, passion, and love, and is often used in weddings and ceremonies. In rituals for Lilith as an offering, red and white lilies awaken our seductive energy. I found that Lilith loves lilies. They reckon they reconnect us. I was going to say recognize us. Oh my goodness. They reconnect us with the joy of embracing our bodies and recognizing our power of attraction. A bath with lily essential oil and red rose petals can enhance your seductive power. Oh my goodness. This card reminds you that you hold the power to attract what you want, and when my is this how it's going to be today? I'm blaming the retrograde, of course. This card reminds you that you hold the power to attract what you want when you realize your body is an essential part of your magnetic and vibrant essence. There we go. Hi, anime girl. Welcome in. How are you today? Um, okay, so then the shadow work associated with this one, reflect on how comfortable you feel with your body and expressing your sensuality. What beliefs have shaped your view and your sensuality? Lilith invites you to explore the concept of beauty and recognize that each body is different. Our beauty and our sensual energy arise from these differences, becoming a source of personal power and magnetism. I am doing well. I'm doing well. I'm a little tired today. A little tired, as you could probably tell from the reading and such like that. But like whatevs. We are here. We are happy to be here. We are connecting. We are excited. So, yes, exactly. Seductive power to achieve abundance. Yes. And it's very much like, and not focused solely on like the abundance, like we think of abundance, right? Like money. Okay. Like yesterday, with it being 8-8, a lot of people were very focused on money. And I totally get that. Like money is a resource that many of us are like, where is it? Come on, like we need more of it, right? But like that abundance of like having what you need, always having what you need. You know what I mean? So, yes, exactly, exactly. Like this magnetism, this energy, this power that lives within you, right? Like harnessing that power and being able to move through it. Uh Yes. So yeah. It was the Lionsgate, like, and I know not everybody celebrates it. I don't know if y'all have seen on social media, a lot of people have been like talking shit about it or whatever, but I personally didn't do anything for it just because I was focusing more on the full moon energy. I had a lot of things that I wanted to kind of like let go of, so pulled some cards with that, relaxed into it, things like that. Yeah, and full moon. Yeah, it is the full moon. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I just feel like I just want to keep saying beautiful. So there we go. But yeah, so Kat, thanks friend, I'll tip you after. Okay, yeah, no worries at all. No worries at all. I'm so glad that you were able to jump on and get a reading before, having to go to the salon. So may you have an abundant day for yourself today as well. Okay. So thank you again, friend, and have a great rest of your day. Um, yes, totally get that. Totally get that. Yeah. Well, and we're still in the full moon energy. Today you could still do any kind of like full moon ritual you would want to do, or even just like going outside and talking to the moon and just being like, I'm fucking sick of this shit, and let it go. That totally works too. Rituals are not just done at the altar. So self-care. Yes, yes, absolutely more self-care. Be doing that today too. Definitely be doing that today too. Okay, so next up we will have Marilyn. And for anybody who just jumped on, I am doing some free readings today. I'll probably take like maybe like one or two more people. So if you would like me to pull some cards for you, let me know. I am using my Lilith deck. This is one of my favorite oracle decks that I have. So you're going to an outdoor dance? Oh my gosh, that's so fun. That sounds like such a good time. Oh, and it'll be like with the moon. It'll be at night, I guess I should say. Oh my gosh, you guys, my brain. My brain is not wanting to like attend life today. So here we are. So, okay, Marilyn, you are up next. As always, feel free to drop any kind of question that you might have in the comments. Beyond that, I will go ahead and pull cards for you. Oh, you all wear headphones on the beach. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, that's so exciting. And then just kind of like dance around and stuff. Ah, I'm a little jelly, to be honest. I'm a little jealous here. Yep, yep. That sounds like a really good time. Might have to start something similar. I'm gonna write that down. Headphone beach dance. Headphone beach dance. Beach dance. Okay. Awesome, Marilyn. I will go ahead and get these cards pulled for you. How do you do rituals and how long have I been doing readings? Okay, so I have been reading for people. I'm going to shuffle one more time and pull these cards before I dive into that. Okay. Okay, so I have been reading cards since I was 17. I'm 40 years old now, 17-ish. I started out really just kind of like playing with the cards, pulling them for myself, getting to know them. I actually started with Lenormand decks. I have the deck right over here. And I really got comfortable with that. Then I dove into tarot. Then I dove into Oracle. And now I mainly lean on tarot, but not always, you know. So yeah, I've been reading for, what is that, like 23 years, I guess. Um, and off and on throughout life. Professionally, I've been reading for, I want to say, just over 5 years. Just because I had like a few different businesses in there. So I'm like with Empress, been doing this business since beginning of 2021. Before that I was reading a little bit more with another business. So yeah, just been doing a lot of readings. And then as far as rituals, how to do like a full moon type ritual. One of the ways, so there's a lot of different ways. First of all, there's a lot of different ways. So what I like to do is I like to look at what sign the full moon is in and then try to figure out a way to do a ritual around that. Okay. So for example, in Aquarius, so for me, like Aquarius is a forward thinking energy, right? So I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about what I want for the future, what gets in the way of me achieving the things that I want for the future. And then I'm going to write down what I want to let go of, right? And some of those releases aren't going to be completely in alignment with, what I'm thinking about with the sign. It might be an annoying habit that I have, like I'm so sick and tired of doing this thing. I'm going to let that go, And so then I either, depending on when I do the ritual, the weather, all that stuff, sometimes I do it at my altar space. Other times I go outside and I have a fire underneath the full moon and I will like speak to the moon essentially, or speak to the fire and throw my releases, the things that I've written down, and throw them into the fire. Okay, so that is kind of like one of the ways that I do releases. There's a lot of different ways to do it though. If you live by water, by a river, you could write your release on a leaf, throw it into the river, and watch it go away from you. And that visual can really help you with letting go too. So, okay, I'm going to finish catching up. What are the best questions to ask the cards? Honestly, my favorite question to ask is, show me what it is I need to see. Because whenever I ask that, then I am stepping out of the way. Okay. Because a lot of times I don't know what the fuck is good for me. I really don't. I have no idea. Right? So asking, show me what it is I need to see, puts me into the space of, okay, so what is happening? What do I need to know? How can I best like harness this energy kind of thing? That's what I like to do. If you're going through a tough time, the best question to ask would be, how can I get through this difficult time? And then, move beyond there. Okay. So, that's really, the best question. Silent DJ. Amazing. That's a long time. Yeah, I have some experience. Diane, I will totally add you. You will be next. I am moving into a reading with Marilyn right now, and then you will be next after Marilyn. Okay. Hi, Nelia. Welcome in. The moon is in Aquarius. So you could totally ask those questions. So with this, I prefer just one question because, again, it is a free reading. I'm just going to pull a couple cards. Can you have all of those things answered by one card? Of course you can. But I would rather have just like, one question or whatever. So before I get into the rest of the chat, I'm going to dive into Marilyn's reading so we don't get totally off topic here. Okay. So keep chatting. I'll catch up in a minute. Okay, Marilyn. So you got two cards. The first card is the cat. Okay, the cat. And the cat is all about independence. All right. So I'm free, curious, and independent. I hold my own space, but know when to let others in. The other card is the Garden of Eden, and it's all about awakening. I release the illusions of my life, and I trust in my awakening, flying towards my autonomy. Okay. So I really feel like this, they're both talking about independence. They're both talking about being free, and I almost feel like this does also line up very well with this Aquarius full moon because Aquarius is like the outsider, right? Like outside of the group. They're very focused on humanitarianism, things like that, making sure that we're making changes we need to make, making sure that we're evolving. But with this, this is more about like maybe feeling like an outsider, maybe feeling like a little confused. Oh no, I'm so sorry. You missed the polls. Okay, we're coming back. Don't worry. I had just gotten started on it. So not a problem at all. Okay, so the cat. Okay, we have the cat, which is all about independence. All right. And then we have the Garden of Eden, which is all about awakening. Okay, I'll go ahead and read the little things on there too for you. I'm free, curious, and independent. I hold my space, but know when to let others in. Okay. And then for the awakening one, I release the illusions of my life and trust in my awakening, flying towards my autonomy. So, it's really bringing to light this energy of independence. Okay, this energy of you being able to take care of yourself, you being able to do things even by yourself. Okay, really focusing in on that, and really like I feel like that has a lot to do with this full moon because Aquarius is kind of like the outsider. Okay, Aquarius is like someone who, you know, wants to be part of the group, wants to help the group, but by nature is kind of outside of the group. Okay. So for you, like if you've been feeling like an outsider, if you've been feeling like you've been struggling on that too, really tapping into your own strength in that, finding power in that, finding power in being the outsider, so to speak. Um, Let me just see if there's anything else in here that could pull up some additional knowledge here. Okay, so let's dive into the shadow work. Okay, let's dive into that. The shadow work for the cat. Okay, reflect on your sense of independence. Do you fully embrace your autonomy or do you find it difficult to create boundaries? How do you balance your personal space with your relationships? Ooh, that's a good one, especially with this full moon. Especially with this full moon. Lilith invites you to trust your ability to stand firm in your own space while allowing connection and intimacy to flow naturally without compromising your independence. So I feel like this is about finding not only your own independence, but also finding like your power in that, your power with others while also having time for your independence, if that makes sense. Okay, so I have a feeling that the next one is going to kind of snake right in there, okay? Reflect on times when you believed everything was perfect but felt controlled. What illusions have you held on to that kept you from growing? What areas of your life felt restrictive or stagnant? Lilith invites you to reflect on whether your life aligns with your true self, let go of illusions, and trust in your spiritual awakening, embracing your freedom. So I almost feel like this is also suggesting that you are either currently or will in the near future go through another spiritual awakening, another understanding of yourself. And we're moving into fall. Like I know it's the beginning of August. I know. But if you look, I at least I'm seeing signs of fall already, okay? That doesn't mean it's not still fucking hot as hell where I'm at, but there are leaves changing color already. And it's just mind-blowing to me. I'm like, where did the summer go? How did this happen? But with that, we're moving into this season of like really doing this inner work, really diving in. Yeah, exactly. I can feel it too. It's like coming. And with that, like I don't know about y'all, but like a lot of times in the fall, that's whenever I have like these big awakening moments, right? Not saying that that can't happen anytime because it sure as fuck can, but I feel like it's almost like this season. The season is coming, like it calls you to let go. It calls you to shed. Nature is shedding. Why wouldn't we, kind of thing? So I feel like that's really what's coming for you right now is this another layer, if that makes sense. So let me know if that makes sense. I'm going to go up and just read the chat a little bit. Um, okay, so Anime Girl, did you want me to put you on the list? Okay, I know you had asked, can you ask those questions? So did you want me to put you on the list? Nelia, for the most part, this is actually something that I'm gonna start enacting, okay? And I feel like people are gonna think I'm mean, okay? And I'm not trying to be mean, all right? But I could pull a yes or no for you, and I might do that for you. But as far as like that being like an all the time question, um, those questions, okay, that's really what gets love readings like a negative kind of connotation, is because like you love is not this like okay, and your question is totally legit, okay? I'm kind of just like kind of getting on my soapbox a little bit for a minute because there are people who come on and say like is so and so coming back to them? Is so and so returning to them? And I understand why you would want to know that. But honestly, if someone left your life, there's a reason for it, okay? And it's time to, really focus in on yourself and not really give two shits about what somebody else is doing or whether they want you or anything like that, okay? Perhaps another question would be like, am I ready for this date, right? Like, am I ready to show up in my fullest self for this date or something like that, okay? Just letting you know. If you like, I could put you on the list. Let me know. And welcome into everybody who has come on. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Um, yeah, I enjoy doing the free readings. As I had said, I think this happened like before you came on. I am going to be switching this up a little bit. I used to do, or I am doing every month, but it feels a little stagnant, feels a little stale. So I'm thinking about doing it, with just the major Sabbats and doing it 4 times a year instead of every month. Um, you know, so yeah. Oh, welcome, new subscriber. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, scrolling down. It does feel like fall. Absolutely. Okay, anime girl. Oh, that's okay. Totally understand. I'm so glad that you're here. And that's why I wanted to share that, because I have a friend who actually does not do love readings at all. If she pulls the cards and like the lovers come out and things like that, then she goes with that. But there's a lot of people who with questions like that, like they don't really want to dive into it. Yeah, like yes, that question. I love that question that you just wrote, Malia. I'm gonna say it like that. I'm so sorry if I butchered it. Let me know if I butchered your name. I will totally like rectify it. But that is a great relationship question. Okay, and again, Nelia, okay, you could not have known. Okay, like you said, you're new here. You could not have known. And I hope you didn't feel like I was attacking you. Not trying to attack you at all. I just kind of want to put that out there for everybody. Um, because it this is about you. This isn't about what somebody else wants. So again, like your question, like what could help you, be ready for that date or whatever would be a good thing for you. Okay, so all right, so anime girl, I will go ahead and put you on the list. Anime girl. Okay, Marilyn, did you get that? I just want to make sure I don't want you to get lost in the comments. And then we will do Malia. Like a reading. Okay, wonderful. Yep, I put you on the list. And then Nelia, if you still want a reading, I will put you on the list, and then that will be it for today. Okay, I wasn't actually going to take everybody, but why the fuck not? So, Malia, I'm so sorry. I really am. Okay. I knew I was going to butcher it. I just knew it. I was like, oh God, here we go. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate it. That is very much needed. Okay, so Marilyn, okay, so I'm sending you so much love. It really is a time of you like finding this new independence, this new energy around that, and really being able to tap into that for yourself. Malia, okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you very much. Okay. So, oh, of course. Of course. Yeah, I would never want to like butcher anybody's name at all, you know? Um, okay. Okay, so thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate you coming on as always, and if you need anything, please do reach out. I know that you usually do, but just reminding you that I'm here for you. Okay. All right. So next up, we have Diane. Diane, are you still here? And then after Diane, I'm just going to go ahead and go through the list real quick just so that y'all kind of know where you are at. It's been about like 5 to 15 minutes per person, just depending. So just so that you guys kind of know the timing of things. If you have to leave, that's totally fine. Totally understand. But yeah, so all right. Diane, awesome. So we got Diane, then we will have Anime Girl, then Malia, and then Nelia. Nelia? Is it like Malia? Like the way that your name works? Let me know. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Sending you hugs, friend. Okay, so Diane, let's go ahead and dive into this. If you have a specific question, you can go ahead and leave that in the comments. If not, no worries. The universe will always show you what it is you need to see. I want to say that you had left a question above, but I did not see it. If you did, let me know. I'll scroll back up. If not, you can go ahead and type that below. Nothing specific. Okay, awesome. We'll just kind of see what comes up here. I'm going to do 2 more shuffles. So 2, 1. I always hope that we get jumpers. Jumpers are really nice. I feel like they are the universe just going like, hey, you need to know this right now kind of thing. Okay, so we have some really fun things. All right, so first card is the snake. Okay, and the snake is all about transformation. Okay, so this tells me that you are going through a big time of change, a big time of transformation. This is the time where you really need to be tapping into not only the changes that you are noticing you need to make, but also tapping into your internal power to help you move through the changes. So on the card, it says, I accept the power of transformation and shed the old skin to become my true self. I love that. I love how that fits with what we were just talking about with us moving into really like shedding season, so to speak. Okay, then the second card is Lilith in Taurus, self-nurturing. I deserve comfort and take time to nurture myself with the pleasures of life without guilt. Wow. So this, I almost feel like looking at them, just barely looking at them, they almost feel like conflicting energies, but they aren't. They're not conflicting energies at all. This almost feels like making changes because you deserve the nice things, okay? You deserve to have the nice comfortable things in your life, okay? You deserve to have time to take care of yourself. All right? So things need to change. This does feel like time. Maybe having more time to do things, maybe having more energy to do things. I'm going to pull up the shadow work parts of this for you. We can just kind of read through this. Okay, so the shadow work for the snake. Get that held up there for you. Examine the insecurities that block you from transforming and evolving. Step out of your comfort zone. What bothers you so much about change? Lilith invites you to shed your old skin that no longer serves you and is blocking your personal growth and transformation. Be open to inner change and you will feel empowered and renewed. Okay, and then we'll pull up Lilith in Taurus. All right. Okay, so the shadow work with this one. Reflect on your inner conflict between self-care and maternal indulgence. How do you balance comfort with nourishment? Blah, 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 blah. Let me try again. I'm so sorry. How do you balance comfort with nourishing your body and mind? Consider times when you felt guilty for spending on things you love or holding on to possessions too tightly. Lilith asks you to face these feelings and recognize that nurturing yourself is essential for balance. Take time to treat yourself, whether it's through music, a walk, or a nice meal. Especially if you're navigating heavy change, like being able to treat yourself, being able to take care of yourself, nourish yourself, that really helps you navigate the heavy change. Okay. So be willing to change, be willing to evolve, but take care of you too. Sound like what I'm going through. I'm taking Oh, good, 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 good. Keep doing that. Keep doing that for sure, And as the changes come up, as the opportunity to make the changes come up, move through it, do the things, but nurture and love on yourself too, you know? it's kind of like, doing something for the full moon, whenever you choose to do that. Like, yeah, do the ritual, let go, release, expend whatever energy you feel like you need to, but be ready to put more energy back in, this love energy. Remember, whenever you're letting go of all that doesn't serve you, you want to fill back in with things that do, okay? If that makes sense. Okay, so Diane, did you have any other, need any other clarification or anything like that? I mean, I know that you said that it sounds like that's sounds like what you're going through right now. Lovely cards. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Sending you so much love. Good luck with all of this. I know change can be very, very heavy. Okay, so yeah, sending you so much love, and thank you for popping on and getting a reading. Okay, so thank you, Diane. Yeah, love to you too. Thank you so much. All right, so next up we have Anime Girl, and then Malia, and then Nelia, if they are still here. Sorry, I did not mean to assume anything there. Just let me know if everybody's here. Anime Girl, just give me a comment. Let me know that you're here, and I'll go ahead and pull cards for you. All right, and then while that's happening, okay, I need to go to live chat. There we go. Now we have all the messages. For some reason, it wasn't showing me all messages. It was saying top thing. So if you had responded something before and I did not, acknowledge that, my apologies. Okay. So, okay, Anime Girl. All right. So I believe you had already typed a question as well. I don't remember though. Can I ask those questions? Okay, so I know you said, can you ask those questions? So what specific thing do you want to start with? Do you just kind of want to start with like, show me what it is I need to see? Let me know. And I believe there will be a replay of this as well, you guys. So, you can, if you miss something, you can come back and look at your reading and things like that. I think that's how YouTube works. This is only like my third or fourth time being live on YouTube. So usually in the past, I've done TikTok, Facebook, Discord. I just kind of hop around, Let's start with that one. Okay, cool. Okay, and what do you need to be successful? Okay, so let's vote. Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll go with that. We'll definitely go with that. Hi, Daniel. I'm so glad you were able to come on, but unfortunately, my list is full for today. Okay, so I do this. Well, it's probably going to end up being more around the Sabbats. So stay tuned for the announcement on that. But I do post daily readings here as well. Okay, so if you are unsure of what to do, sometimes those daily readings can help. And I do offer private readings too. So I appreciate you coming on, but my list is full for today. Okay, Anime Girl. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you again for stopping by. All right, so we are going to start with the successful thing there. All right. And again, I'm not going to pull like a bunch of cards for you today just because it is free readings. I'm kind of sticking with just the 2 cards, but let's see how much we can get answered from these cards, okay? All right, so we have okay. Lilith in Capricorn is all about recognition. So that definitely works with that, okay? I'm worthy of success. The rewards come from my dedication and perseverance, okay? So I love how that's focusing on your success, right? And then we have the Night Queen Jasmine is all about intimacy. I overcome the fear of intimacy and I allow myself to blossom and show my essence. Okay. So there's that one for you. All right. So I love this. Okay. So let's go ahead and read the shadow prompts for this success one. Okay. Because I feel like, what do you need to be successful? Okay, so success, I feel like this is saying that you're worthy of success. Okay, but I feel like the prompts are going to help you see like what you need to do to work on that. Okay, like what is still needing to be done to accept the worthiness, right? Because sometimes we don't feel like we're worthy. Okay. Reflect on when your ambition was dismissed as materialistic. Were you told wanting big things wasn't for everyone? Did others label you as self-centered for oh my gosh, wishing to be rich or joke about your dreams? I'm going to read that one again since I totally fucked it up. All right. Did others label you self-centered for wishing to be rich? Oh my God. Or joke about your dreams? Mercury retrograde. Anyway, Lilith invites you to release shame around seeking recognition and success. Set meaningful goals, accept your willpower, and trust it's okay to pursue abundance aligned with your truest self. Oh, I love that. So really accepting that, like, it doesn't, like, other people try to put their energy on us, their will, their understandings, their auto programming, all that shit. Okay. So if you are thinking about what you want and you have somebody in your ear going, oh, you'll never do that. A, fuck them. Okay. Like, that is definitely the first thing. B, don't listen to them. Okay. Though there are people who are going to naysay anything. You could have everything, like, you could literally already be like the vision of success that you have, and those people will still just negate it. Okay. Yes, exactly. So, like, really getting rid of those voices, right? Like, I like to call that my gremlin, the inner critic, right? Like, it's there, and it's not my voice. That's not my voice. I don't think those things about me. Those are things that other people have told me are true about me. And I don't have to believe what the fuck they say, and that is for you too. Okay. You don't have to believe that. This is very much about you figuring out what dreams you want to bring to life and how you're going to do that. Okay, how you're going to do it, how you're going to dive into it, how you're going to do this work. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So let's go to the Night Queen here. All right. Night Queen Jasmine. All right. This one is all about intimacy. So the work behind this one, burn night oil. Oh my God. Burn Night Queen Jasmine incense or use its essential oil. Reflect on your fears around intimacy. What makes you hesitate to allow someone to know you completely? Do you associate intimacy with danger or shame? Lilith invites you to confront the barriers you've built around your inner world and discover the freedom of allowing yourself to experience the fullness of intimacy. And again, I think you were on here earlier when we were talking about intimacy. Intimacy isn't just like with a partner and focused on sex, right? Like, intimacy very much focused on being seen, being vulnerable, being able to be held, things like that. Okay. So I've been working on it for a long time, for years. Yes, exactly. It takes time. It takes time to undo all of it. You know what I mean? It does. And sometimes it feels like we've taken like so many steps back, but as long as we're paying attention and we're doing the work, we're doing what we can, and I'm glad that that's weakening, that it's kind of going away. It's fading into the background. That's so good. I'm so glad. Yeah, because yeah, yeah. So the learning, I feel like that really goes to answer the learning, what you need to learn. Learn to be seen for who you are 100%. And like, honestly, while I was reading that, I'm a Scorpio sun, okay, with also a stellium in Scorpio. So I've got like a lot of trust issues, right? So reading about being seen, I was like, ah! Help, so you're not the only one. Okay, it is scary as shit, right? It's scary as shit. So especially if you have anything in the past that yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like, whenever we put ourselves out there, we're not always going to be accepted. We're going to be rejected at times. The way to get through that is to remind ourselves that the rejection, just having a no now, doesn't mean that it's always going to be a no. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, yeah, that's a good, in my humble opinion, that's a really good practice to have. You know what I mean? Um, Sagicorn. I love that. So you're like right on the cusp, so to speak, right? Pisces sun. Okay, yeah. So you feel deeply. You feel very deeply. And that's honestly something that in this lifetime you're meant to be known for, are these deep feelings and this ability to dive deep. That's really important, really important. So with that, like wanting, that's probably why intimacy came up too, because you have so much depth and emotional, like a well of emotions within you. You want to be seen for that. You want to be loved for that, not pushed away for that. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, there will be people that will not shame you for crying. Just FYI. There will be people who do not shame you for crying. Um, I know that we don't really know each other, I don't think. But like I'm a person who cries a lot, so I'm not going to shame you for crying. Oh, you and your grandma had the same birthday. That's so cool. That's so cool. Okay, Sagicorn, and I'm back with, which is a Virgo. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh God, that's a lot. That is a lot, friend. Yep. Yep. So like and that's why like I use cusp really lightly, right? Because like yeah, like you could be on the cusp whenever we're just looking at the dates, but if we pulled up like the date, the time, the place you were born, all of that, we would have like a solid, like you are either a Sagittarius or a Capricorn kind of thing, just depending on where the sun was at that exact time of birth. So that's why I like use cusp loosely kind of thing. But yeah, I love that you call it Sagicorn. And that's so fun. Like, oh yeah, Virgo Leo. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. March 17th. Nice. Nice. Wow. Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, so anime girl, like really, I feel like you got those questions answered, and really with the show me what it is that you need to see thing too over there. Like you are worthy of success. For you, it's about doing the shadow work within that. Like, do you feel worthy? Do you feel like you deserve it? And then learning how to become more intimate. And again, like I don't remember if you were on with the first reading, but the first reading really did talk about that too, like finding the intimacy within yourself, knowing yourself so deeply that then you can allow others to know the real you too, right? You know, and only opening up to those who are going to value you. I really do say that the inner work, the healing journey, the inner work journey, whatever the fuck we want to call it, okay, like the awareness journey, the spiritual journey, whatever we want to call it, it can be a very lonely journey at times because you start to see, when you're changing, you see who isn't, right? You see who is staying stuck, and a lot of times we change at such a rapid rate that we kind of like change beyond what other people can do or can see or want to be a part of, whatever, wherever they're at. So don't let, like, yeah, like don't trust the people that have already hurt you. Move through that, let it go, all those things, but also make room for the people who are going to love you. Stay open that there are people out there who are going to see you 100% for who you are, you know? Um, yeah. So I think that's about it. But I'm sending you so much love because that's a lot. That is a lot. But hey, you got some answers. You got some answers there. Starseed Indigo Child, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay, anime girl, do you have any more questions before we move on to Malia? Right? I did do that right? Fuck, dude. I want to blame retrograde, but honestly, like, I just don't know if I've had enough coffee for the day. It's one of those days, and we're kind of going through a little heat wave up here where I'm at. So that just kind of, it doesn't do anything good for my brain. I know that. Had to step away for a bit. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on and getting a reading. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you got the answers really to your questions. You know, those were like in direct alignment with your questions. So that was so badass. So, all right. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for letting me read for you. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you were able to come on and get a reading. And yeah, so thank you. All right, so next up we have Malia. All right, and I know that you're here, so I'm just going to go ahead and start shuffling. And I believe you had put a question up there because I really loved the way that you worded it. Yes, what is the current challenge, struggle, or lesson in your relationship? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and shuffle. Oh, yeah. I love jumpers. I love jumpers. Okay, let's see if we can get another jumper. I'm going to shuffle 3 more times. So 3, 2, let's see if we can get one more. Come on. One more. All right. All right, there we go. Ooh, okay. So let me scroll back up to your question again because I really want to be looking at it while I'm reading this. So if anybody is going to be commenting anything, I'm not going to be able to see it for a little while because I really need to come up here and look at this. Let's see, where did it go? I just saw it too. There it is. Okay. All right, so the 2 cards that I pulled for you, we have Spider, which is all about creativity. Okay, what kind of web are you weaving? What are you creating? What are you making? You know, because we all have a web to weave. We all have something that we do in this life, right? So, Spider, creativity. I face my mental blocks by weaving them freely into a web of vibrant creativity. Oh, I love that. And then the owl. The owl is all about wisdom. In the dark, I trust the power of my inner wisdom to guide me and overcome obstacles. So really just like before we dive into like the shadow work behind it and things like that, and before I scroll down to see what's happening in the comments, you know, the current challenge, struggle, and lesson has to do with what you're creating, what you're both, or what all, oh, wrong one. See, I'm used to having the opposite thing. Okay, what you're really creating, what you are making, you know, what kind of web are you weaving? You know, each day in your relationships, how are you behaving? What are you acting like? You know, how do you respond? You know, do you show love? Things like that. Okay, what kind of web are you weaving, and is that the web you want to weave? And then with the owl wisdom, I almost feel like this is like learning lessons in the relationships. You know, if you have an argument, if you have, you know, a time where you need to step away from each other, you know, are you learning the lesson from that time, or are you just trying to move on as if everything's okay? Because that's not going to end up serving you very well. Okay, the wisdom is about learning the lesson, whatever the lesson is. So okay. Oh, and you repeated it down there. Oh, thank you. I didn't even know until then. That's so funny. Okay. Yes, it was good meeting you too, anime girl. If you're still here, I don't know if you're still here. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then Katie, good morning, Katie. Yes. Oh, nice. So glad that you were able to stop by. Hello. I'm so glad that you're here. Always excited to see you here. Okay, so the current his ex is trying to sabotage. Yes. Yes. So, and that's the thing, you know, like does he realize that? Does he see that? Or is he not seeing the lesson? You know what I mean? Is he not jumping on board with that, you know? Um because if he's not seeing that, then that is really going to be his thing to deal with. You know what I mean? Like you can bring things up, you can say, "Hey, this shit's fucked up," you know? What's going on with this? You know, all of those things, but if he is not going to cut that off, you know, if he's not going to do that, then that can be a really difficult situation. You know, I feel like that could be the lesson, right? I'm going to go ahead and okay, wait. We live in our penthouse. She and his twin. Ah, fuck. Oh, fuck. That makes it really hard. It's not like you can just go bloop, out of sight, out of mind. You know, they're right there. So that could be part of the lesson as well. Let's pull up these shadow work things here. We're going to start with wisdom. We're going to start with the owl. Okay. All right. Explore the depths of your intellect and wisdom. Reflect on moments when you doubted your intelligence or failed to use your knowledge. What obstacles can you overcome with your cleverness? What knowledge have you ignored? Lilith invites you to embrace wisdom by recognizing your intellectual ability, allowing it to guide you with understanding, and I have no idea how to say that word. I have no idea. I'm just going to be 100% fucking authentic. We're talking about intimacy and being seen. This is me being seen. I have no fucking idea how to say this word, okay? We're going to try it out. Perspicity? Perspicity? Perspicity. I'm going to Google it because I don't know what this word means, and I feel like I should probably know that if I'm going to read it out loud, right? So per ha, the quality of having a ready insight into things. Ooh, insight. So allowing it to guide you with understanding in and insight, insightfulness. Yeah. So, man, so really like, oh man. Okay, let's read the spider. Okay. Reflect on how you express your creativity. Oh, I like that too. Not only think about the web that you're weaving, but also creativity. What beliefs limit your creativity? Has anyone ever judged you when you expressed your creativity? Are there projects you've abandoned out of self doubt? Lilith invites you to explore your creativity and transform challenges into possibilities. Trust your ability to break through mental blocks into vibrant creative self expression. I almost feel okay, so maybe the self expression. The self expression. Are you expressing yourself about this situation? Um, and would this is going to be like a big question, and you're probably just going to want to like throw your phone at me somehow. But what could you move? Could you get out of that, or is that something that you guys are thinking about, or that's not really on the table right now? Like I know, like I've been saying earlier in the readings too, money is like a big deal right now, right? Like I know this fucking economy, like there's a lot of shit going on, right? So I know not moving isn't available for everybody. Okay, all that to say, I know that for sure. But is there a way that you guys could get out of that situation, and maybe that would help alleviate things? Yes. Okay. So maybe that would be a good idea. I know not run, and I really feel like kind of like torn on that, because it's like you don't want to run from the situation, but you also want to get out of it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's got to be difficult for all of you involved. Like, whew, that's got to be difficult. So expressing yourself, that's what I was saying. Like really getting back to the cards here too. Really focusing in on expressing yourself. Hi, Carrie, welcome. Expressing yourself and making sure that your voice is being heard. You just say to yourself, totally understand that. Totally understand that. And that's got to be hard. I'm going to assume that your partner, does your partner go and hang out with them? Um, she acts nice. Yeah. Yeah. Because that would drive me insane. It really would. Absolutely. But she acts nice. Okay. Well, yeah. I feel like, that's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, I really do feel like, finding a way to get out of that situation if you guys can, you know. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to not let her get to you, you know. Um, but that sounds so hard. So hard, you know. Okay. Okay. The weird noise, I think it was thunder. I hope it's thunder. Let me put it like that. If not, there's something happening outside, and I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist. I'm going to do that thing that I was just saying, we can't do it. I'm going to do it for now. We tap in the heart. I guess, yeah. I don't even know how, like, YouTube works. So do what you do, friend. Tappy, tappy, tap. Pulling out my Happy Gilmore here. I hang out. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes things a little bit easier, that you hang out with them more than he does. Because, you don't really want, yeah, that could be a lot, seeing all that and stuff like that. No, I just say, just stay nice. Yeah. I like that. I do that too with some people. I'm like, no, I'm just sweet as pie. And while I am, not to those people, you know what I mean? So I feel like maybe that's what the wisdom is too, is like this whole situation is a learning situation for you, right? Like she's trying to get you kicked out. Oh, that is terrible. I'm so sorry. That just sounds like a really big situation. I feel like that's why the owl came out too, is like reminding you that like this, even though it probably doesn't feel good to hear this, okay, but this is a huge lesson, okay? You are living this big lesson, all right? This huge wisdom experience, okay? And they are wisdom experiences because we have to learn so much during the thing, okay? So I feel like that's why that card came out. Oh yeah, that is thunder. Okay. Sorry. So like right now is very much about you being in the lesson. And I feel like you are, like you've been saying, like you're just trying to be nice, you're just trying to get through it, you're just trying to navigate it. You know what? Let's do a yes or no. So I feel like this is a yes. Usually whenever I pull yeses or nos with Oracle decks, upright is a yes, reversed is a no. And it's the moth. I'm obsessed with moths. Okay. So, but it's about fragility. Okay. So I almost feel like that's kind of speaking to her, sabotaging the relationship, and I think fragility also answers like, what she's saying and things like that. It's a projection. It's a projection from another person. She feels fragile. She feels like she doesn't have, the strength to do things. She feels totally disempowered. It really does feel like disempowerment. Okay. And because of that, she's turning all of that to you. Okay. And trying to sabotage, trying to do all of that. Okay. That's what projections do, right? Like projections are all about putting that shit on somebody else. So the fact that you are not letting that shit bother you, that's the best thing you can do. Of course, I'm concerned, with her trying to get you kicked out and things like that. But again, even if you did, I'm going to say this, and this is probably, I don't know if this will land well or not. I think I already scared somebody else off and I feel bad about it. But if it gets you kicked out, then that could honestly be like a blessing in disguise in a way. Not saying that like you not having anywhere to go or anything would be a positive thing, but it's more along the lines of like this situation does not sound healthy for you or for anybody involved, especially her, especially you and her. My concern is you because you're right here in front of me. But like this, you you deserve better than this. It feels like, I mean, I'm kind of assuming here, but it feels like you probably can't really feel super safe at home either because of all this stuff. So everything that she's doing, everything that she's throwing at you is a projection. What you need to keep doing is keep moving forward. Ignore her as much as possible, and honestly, like try to get out of that situation if you guys can. Again, I know that's not fucking easy. I know that's not going to be an easy task and it's going to take a time, but I really do get this sense of like you deserve better. You deserve peace. You deserve happiness, all of that. Okay. So I know that was a lot, but let me know what you think about all that, you know? Um, yeah, because I really do get that sense of like you deserve so much better than what you are receiving right now. Okay, so if you want to share anything, feel free to do that. I'm going to scroll back up through the comments and just make sure that I did not miss anything from anyone. Again, I kind of had it toggled a little funny, so I was using top chat, I guess, instead of live chat. I don't fucking know these things. Oh my gosh. every way of going live, every platform, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for. Every platform is so different. So it's interesting to see how things go with all of that. I think we lost Nilia. If you're still here, please let me know. I'm so sorry. I think I scared. I think I said some things. I'm so sorry, friend. Okay. Oh, my boyfriend Jared was dating her, and then she cheated on him. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Totally get that. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, Katie. Absolutely. Yes, the cards, and I love how that happens. Like the cards come out and it's not just the person that the cards are for that understands it, right? Like that's another reason why I love doing these free readings like this, is because of like this culmination of all these people coming together, and us all kind of feeling the same vibes. 1111. I love that. Fuck yeah, dude. I fucking love that. We both do. I love him and she needs. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. She doesn't need to get lost. She needs to fuck off. She needs to go find her own fucking shit. She needs to go live her life and not give two fucks about what you're doing, Because, like, you get to live your life and she could choose to live hers, Like, that's really what needs to happen here. That is the wisdom. No. I am glad that you were able to come on and get a reading, and thank you so much for coming on and getting a reading. And I appreciate you very much, and thank you for wording your question in the way that you worded it. You definitely helped me like explain why like sometimes love readings can be so difficult to do. I appreciate you so much for being an example of that. What is she saying about me? So I'm not gonna dive that deep into the free reading with that, We went ahead and we did the 3 cards. We're just gonna kind of draw the line there. Like I said, I'm feeling kind of like a little meh. So, we're just gonna kind of draw the line there. Um, Honestly, what she's saying about you, like, it doesn't honestly matter. I know, like, curiosity, you want to know, because fuck her, all these things, you know what I mean? But like what she's saying doesn't matter. You know yourself, you know your heart, you know what's going on with you. Focus in on those things because people are going to run their fucking mouths no matter what we do. You know what I mean? I got some people who run their fucking mouths about me all the goddamn time, and that's fine. They can do it. They can do it, but they can do it all the way over there. You know what I mean? So, and I know she's right in front of you, so that's got to be like hard, but honestly, like stay focused on you, stay focused on you, stay focused on your boyfriend, all of that, and if she is, if she's getting to him, sabotaging that shit, you know, he's fragile too. I hate to say it like that, but that moth that came out with the fragility thing, like, ugh. Everything I do, she tries to tell his mom. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, of course she does. She can't take responsibility. This just sounds like a person who is not growing, not acknowledging their part in things, not, healing, all of that. You know? And I hope that his mom sees through that shit. Parents, they might not always say things, unless they're, involved in the drama, then that's different. But most of the time, parents see things. They might not always say it, but they see it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hate that you have this person doing this for you in your life, though. That is not good. Not good at all. Okay, so thank you again for coming on and getting a reading. I'm so glad that, you kind of have a little bit of clarity with that. Yeah, hold your boundaries. Absolutely. Absolutely. It sure will, it sure will. And yeah. Yep. Okay, so, and I wanted to say thank you to everybody who came on and got a free reading today. I do these I'm going to be changing this up. Okay. So it used to be every Saturday. I think I'm going to align these more with the Sabbats instead. Okay. I'm not enjoying doing these every month like I used to. So I think I am very good. Very good. Good to hear. I think I am instead going to do these with the major Sabbats. Okay, so the next one will probably be around Samhain. So, end of October, beginning November. I'll look at my calendar, get that all planned out, and I'll update everything. Yeah, so just to let y'all know, a little bit of a shameless plug coming in now. So if you don't really care about that, thank you for stopping by. It was so good to meet all of you. Hi, Wesley. Welcome in. I'm actually closing this up. So you're kind of going to be at the end here. For anybody who did not get a free reading this time, next time, I do these now with the Sabbats. Okay. So not every Sabbath, but we're going to go with the major Sabbats. Okay. So the next one is actually going to be Samhain. So again, that will be end of October, beginning of November. I'll be sure to put the date out there, and the date will always be on my website as well. Okay. That will always be updated. If there's any changes or anything like that, you can always check there too. Also on my website, you can request private readings as well. I do tarot, astrology. I can do private breath works. I also do group breath works. We do shadow work here. We do inner work here. And what else do we do? Katie, what else do we do here? No. Katie is actually someone that used to do my moderator stuff over on TikTok. Okay. So, like, friend. Oh, retreats. We do online retreats here. Our next one is going to be at the end of September, and this one is going to be focusing in on the houses of astrology as well as the current transits. We're going to talk about annual perfections. We're going to talk about a lot of things like that. Okay. So, okay, nice. Yeah, totally understand, Wesley. Thank you for coming on. Oh, you're wearing your shirt. I love it. Yay. And I appreciate you too, Anime Girl. Thank you so much for coming on and getting a reading. So glad that you're here. Yes. So the next one, we are going to be diving into that. If you want more about like the signs as well as the planets, that is actually my part 1. Okay. And I will be doing another part 1. I'm not sure when. I was going to do one this month, but it's not feeling in alignment. It's really not feeling in alignment. So for the online astrology retreat, that one would be at the end of September. I want to say it's like the 25th through the 27th or the 26th through the 28th. I forget like where the dates land in my head right now. But personal astrology reading is... Yes, absolutely, Katie. Thank you, friend. Yeah, but we'll be meeting online. I want to say like three times a day probably for that weekend, and just diving into it, and it's not necessarily a 101. Yes, you're going to learn, what the first house means, what the second house means, all of that. But the beautiful part, my personal favorite part of these retreats, is getting everybody together online, and we're learning together. Not only that, but we're sharing our reflections. We're saying, oh my gosh, that fits with what I'm going with what I'm going through right now. Oh my gosh, I've been struggling with that all my life. Now I understand that. Like there's a lot of understanding that comes from this self-exploration. Okay. So again, it's not really a 101. You're going to learn things, but it's more about this connection. And then we usually do an activity to help lock in that learning. Okay. So I'm super excited for that, meditation, breath work. We did crafts last time, all sorts of things like that. So you're a healer and they try. Yes, exactly. Yes, totally understand. And they will, people try to drain you, because they see that light. They see the light in you and they want it for themselves. They don't understand that they have to go inward and find it for them. They just want to take yours instead. So yes, learning how to, move beyond that for sure. Yeah, because they'll do it. They will definitely try. Yes, that would be so fun. I would love to have y'all there. For the part 2, I do suggest having a really good understanding of the signs and the wow, it's really raining. Okay. The signs and the planets before taking the part 2. Again, I'll be doing another part 1. I'm thinking more so over winter, like maybe into December and January type of thing. But I'll be announcing all of that. I have this platform. I have Facebook. I have TikTok. I have Instagram. I have Discord. I have a lot of things. I post things everywhere. So, as things come up, that's where it'll be posted. It'll also be over on my website. Okay. The website is really the hub for all the things. So is it good to fast on a new moon? Oh, that is a really good question. You know what? I used to have an app for that. Let me see if I still have that app. Moonly used to be really good. I don't think they do a lot of their stuff for free anymore, but they used to be really good about having like a calendar that you could look at things. Okay. So let me see if they still have it. I know they made some changes. Let me see. Calendar. Yeah, so they let you see the calendar. I hope you guys can kind of see that. Okay, so they let you see the calendar, and then down at the bottom here, you can choose like fasting or things like that. Let me see. And it'll show you like what days will be good for that. So yeah, you could definitely check that. Nutrition. Let's see what comes up for nutrition for today. I know you guys, I'm on my phone. I'm just like, hey, you guys, we're just gonna be on our phone right now. It doesn't. Okay, well, it can be a good place for these things, but apparently I don't know exactly how to use the app anymore. So that's great. That is great. I feel really old today. I'm not really old. I'm usually really good with tech things, but no, not with this. So with the calendar, I mean, during a new moon, that is just a really good question that I don't have the answer for. Maybe I should just say that. I'm just going to Google it then instead, okay? Is it food? No. Is it good to fast during a new moon? Okay. Let's see. Generally not recommended during a new moon. So I'm going to guess that it might be good to do during a full moon. Yeah. So right now, actually, because the moon is full, it would be a really good time for you to do some kind of fasting or something like that. So yeah. Yeah, I would do it. All right. So YOLO, exactly. That's how I feel. I remember fasting one day and walked on the grass and I could feel things. Yes, it's crazy, right? It is so crazy. Astromatrix, nice, nice. See, for like astrology stuff, I like to use time passages. I really like that one. If y'all have the Chani app is amazing. Also, like a lot of good free stuff in both of those apps. Those are the ones that I really like to use. Professionally, I use time passages as well. So, and usually with my astrology stuff, I mix it with like, like what it means, but also with like what I'm pulling intuitively too, what's coming up for me whenever I look at it, whenever I feel into it, things like that. So really bridging that gap between like the knowledge and the intuition. So Astromatrix, so I'll have to check into that one. Yes, yes, yes. I used to have Sanctuary. Some of the apps I don't really necessarily enjoy just because it can be very confusing for people. So, oh, that's okay. Totally get it, anime girl. Not a problem at all. Yeah, 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 yeah. Totally get it. So yeah, it would be kind of a good time to fast then, and yeah, really tapping into your energy even more, especially if you plan on like making a food change too. If you're like changing your diet or anything like that, that could be super helpful. So, okay. Anyway, great conversation with y'all today. I'm so glad that y'all were able to come on and get a reading. Again, I do post daily readings here as well as on my other socials. So give me a follow if you like what you saw here. And I appreciate everybody who came on. And for everybody that popped off, if you're coming back on and watching the replay, I appreciate you all as well. Okay. And yeah, so I guess I will see y'all next time. I'm going to get off of here and get some lunch. Can they be used on a laptop? Yes. So Time Passages, I know, does have things on a laptop. Astromatrix, I want to say, if it's what I'm thinking of, I think there's a laptop version or a website, things like that. That could definitely be helpful for you too, with all of that. So, and really like learning how to dive in and just kind of play with it, things like that. So yeah. Okay, so either way, I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Happy full moon, friends. And I totally get that. Same. So anyway, I will see y'all next time. Have a great rest of your day. No matter what, I'll be here sending you all so much love, holding space for you, and shining the light out for anybody who needs a little help finding their way home to themselves. I love y'all, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.